He said, me and my buddy been doing something and it's really cut into like our cardio. We're cutting calories like crazy. And he said, it's really great. I said, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, we're wrestling. And I said,
No, he didn't.
Dude, I mean, you honestly can't make this up.
Okay.
And he goes, I said, oh, wrestling. Yeah. I said, I did that like when I was in junior high. Wasn't that great? You know, but he goes, no, he goes, my full basement is full on wrestling pads. Like there's no furniture. It's just wrestling pads.
With mud?
Maybe
With oil?
Maybe oils. I don't know.
I do need to ask you this because I think it's serious.
Okay. Cobb's getting serious.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to send you an email later tonight. You do need to report to me 5 things you've done in the last week.
Okay.
Why are people getting mad about that anyway?
The first thing we do at award shows is go find the list of people playing live. It is. And we always know who it's going to be. It's us. It's Miranda Lambert.
Her band always plays live.
You know, Stapleton. You can always tell who's not playing live. Easy to tell.
I can pick that off.
Because they're dressed in like long leather coats and scarves and things that you could never play live in.
Yeah.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
Here we are, another episode of the Try That in a Small Town podcast episode. Woo!
We love it.
Hey, we're coming to you from the Patriot Mobile Studios.
Still sounds good.
It still sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
Are they still sponsoring us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Believe it or not,
There's a
for another
small
week.
sign behind you there.
Yeah, see, you can't see that.
I know. Well,
But believe me, we're thrilled to have him. We got Neil, calling you first name again.
It's Neil.
Kelly.
Brother Neil.
Tully.
wow.
And I feel like I insulted Ed, and I didn't mean to do that.
No, you didn't. He's tough.
He is tough, actually, but he's trying to come up with a good nickname for me, and God bless him. I just saw a new one, MC.
I saw that too. I don't know, man. We're struggling.
You guys got to get with Ed.
Master
So
of ceremonies.
Kurt does have a couple nicknames.
I do. Actually, I have a nickname.
You have a lot of nicknames.
What is it?
Well,
they
here's the
may-
thing about nicknames.
They may not make sense. One of it is just called Corn because he's from Iowa. So forever,
I like it.
we'll call him Corn.
Corn.
And that's pretty common on the road.
I like
you'll
old
just
Corn.
Aldina be like, "Hey, where's Corn?"
I
Yeah.
like corn.
We'll be like, "I don't know. He's on the bus or he's
Most people like
pouring
corn.
a drink."
A lot of carbs.
And then another unfortunate one.
Now his other one. Wait a minute.
Kayla would say that. I like corn. Corn's good. A lot of carbs, he said.
It's not the most
That's out of
healthy
that.
vegetable, but
It's very colorful.
Is it a vegetable? It is, isn't it?
corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not.
Yeah, it's not a fruit.
No, it's not.
It's not
good for
that
you.
nutritious, I think. But don't any of you say you don't like corn.
I love it for you. I love it for your name. I do.
Corn on the cob? Do you guys do corn on the cob?
Oh, it's amazing.
Sweet corn?
We just call you Cobb.
Oh my God.
There it is.
There it
That's
is.
how
And that's
nicknames-
how nicknames start.
That's how
it.
nicknames
Exact-
start.
Cobb. What do you think, Ed?
Cobb.
What's up,
What do you
Cobb?
think, Ed? Cobb?
Cobb ain't bad. I mean,
Cobb's
it's,
cooler than
Cobb.
corn, I think.
Oh, Cobb.
it's better than my other nickname.
And Ed, if you're listening, Ed, which I hope you are, I'm sure you are, get out there and recruit, man.
Ed's recruiting, I promise
the Ed
you.
Army.
Ed, I'll say this about Ed. He leaves us the best comments, reviews. He is always on it. He goes through the whole episode, what he likes, maybe what he didn't like.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. We encourage everybody to do that. Seriously, like, subscribe. Sometimes I forget to say that. Go to YouTube. Make sure you do that. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll do like the Brothers Hunt do. You can trash us all you want. Just do 5 stars. We'll read it on the air.
Yeah.
Follow us on the socials. We're trying to get that X account going. People follow us. Let's go.
Bring it.
Kaylo, how was your day?
It was okay. A little lengthy.
Tell us about it.
Lengthy?
Yeah. I mean, it's lengthy just as far as the drive goes.
Tell us about your co-write today.
Oh, you had a co-write.
Yeah, it was fine.
Now, these are
It was
great
just,
stories because people don't understand. Like, for every song you might hear on an album or streaming or on the radio, there's a million other days where they're just not great. So, Kayla, did you have a great day? Was it a great day?
Well, it actually started on today's Tuesday. So it actually started on Friday.
Oh,
Hold on.
a
Your day
4-day
today started on Friday.
No,
No.
just a little the evolution of what took place started on Friday, and
Okay.
it just continued over. And you think, well, it's just one day, right? It's kind of carried over.
Tell the listeners out there.
Some of this is inside, So if you live in a certain part of town, in Nashville, and you've had, say, a certain amount of success, you don't feel like you need to be driving 50 minutes to your co-write,
You want to come out of your bubble.
Yeah, but anyway, you're still, trying to write with everybody and be a pleaser. I'm a pleaser by nature, and I'm with a new publisher and Red Street Music Publishing, Jay DeMarcus, Kelly King, Amanda Roach.
I talked to Jay about this, by the way. How'd you draw Lord?
Shout out. But anyway, but you go to, you get to the right, and I looked on my book and I knew the names. I thought, hey, that's good. That's a good looking right.
What were they?
I'm not going to say
He's not
who they
going
are,
to do it. He won't do it.
But anyway, one of them was a couple artists and another
Wait, stop there.
another writer.
So the artists, are they? This is important today.
Well, I think he's going to get to what your question's going to be.
Well, no. I'm going to ask the question.
And you forgot to say, sorry to interrupt.
But seriously, are they artists that have been at radio? Okay.
One has.
Dual artist, right?
And the other, well, you have artists of different levels, that have stuff out there that are doing,
They're
pretty
all
well,
writing together now. Everybody's just one big happy co-write.
But anyway, so I went ahead and I drove, okay, and I thought, I'll do it. It looks good on the book, and so I drove out there, I was thinking about ideas. But when I got there, and I was, complimentary, I said, well, we obviously got enough talent in the room. I said, my question is, who are we writing for? And they just kind of looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, we got two artists. You both got record deals, and you're not a duo. Who we writing for, you or you?
Can you please tell me who they are?
They said, no.
Come on,
no,
Caleb.
it'd be rude.
No, he's not going to do it.
Rude. We're not saying
What did
anything
they
bad.
say to this?
No, but they said,
What songs have they sung?
Then the first one said, oh man, Hoss, I just dropped a record in January. And
Oh, no.
And the other guy said, yes, I just released mine. I said like 2 weeks ago, and I said, so why are we here?
Did you really say that?
And
Okay, that's
they
amazing.
said, oh man, we can just write something. I'm like, yeah, let's just write something for fun that rhymes.
Now, you got to explain to people because if you don't have a target, that you just, it's hard to write
Well,
like that.
the thing is, it's a blessing if you get in the room with artists. The thing is, if they just released records, it's going to be a minimum of a year before they even start recording.
minimum.
So whatever we write that day, even if it's great, it'll be completely forgotten about by the time they come around again. So
And they won't sing the demo.
So just as a straight up writer, you're like, today is somewhat meaningless.
It was you, two artists of unknown name, and dare I say, someone doing a track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the track person was really good. And the song was really good. It really was. It was just, where's it going?
What's the track
That's-
guy?
is
What's the track
thing.
guy's name?
It wasn't a track guy. It was a track girl.
What's her name?
I'm not going to tell you. She's really good, though.
Who is it?
Well,
I'm not gonna tell you.
Let's give her. I mean, if she's really good,
She's
we-
great.
give her a
no,
shout out.
No, she was great.
give her a shout out.
She was great.
But your point to all this is a song is now in purgatory. It's floating.
most likely. Now the odds are so small, that anything good would come from it, and then you have to build yourself up on the way back home. It's not like a short hour and a half drive. You're only going 20 miles, but to get back home, thinking, well, that's a good song. That's
Well,
a good song,
and
So
know
it
what?
happened again yesterday and
Mon-
today.
Monday. That was Monday.
Monday.
Friday was the exact same. Wrote with a duo that I've been trying to write with for a couple of years, and I got in with them, and right after they had put the record out, and great guys, and that was fun too. So I got to meet them, and
Now, I do think you have to explain because people say, "Oh, you get to write songs. That's great." But this is a business for us, and you do need to have a strategy on every write.
yeah.
So you're hoping when you're going to a write, especially with an artist, hey, we got an album coming out in 6 months. This is what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
It's really hard for songwriters just to be like, oh, let's just write a song and I don't know, let's just see what ends up with it. It's just really hard to get a song cut like that.
Yeah.
This is our business. That's how we make money. To just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, and it's much more exciting for the whole room if somebody says, "Hey, man, we're going in. We're going to cut 3 more things in 2 weeks." Then the whole room is like, hey, "This is great. This is a great opportunity." So I'm going to look and find the best ideas possible.
Yeah.
But when you know that they're not going in for a year and a half, the first thing I did is I just thought, well, that ain't gonna be my idea.
Yeah.
I'm not pitching one.
No,
Save
no,
that
no.
for
In
us.
that
Save
scenario,
that
I'm not
for
pitching
us.
it. Now I'll try my best with their idea, and it did. It worked out great. But you're not going to burn one because it's not going to get recorded
Yeah.
by that act.
Interesting weekend you've had.
Yeah. So it just kind of spilled over. A lot of driving. Driving.
I actually forgot. Where did you drive to? Or can you give that away?
Today, one was Sylvan Park, and one was Franklin on Friday. That was easier. At least you're close to home. At least your failure was close to home. and then West Nashville, and then East Nashville.
East Nashville.
Neil, you said
What a coffee shop.
I had to remind me right before we went on. Like sometimes we have. Well, actually, we never have bullet points of what to talk about. And I was saying, has anybody got something we want to start with? And Neil's like, well, who cares? Let's just talk. It ain't live.
No.
And it actually reminded me of a great story. Tully, you want to tell the story?
What year was this?
Oh, I'm bad at that game.
I'm going to say 2012, just 'cause I think it's somewhere near there. So we were doing American Idol when it was at its height. So we were doing Don't You Want to Stay with Kelly Clarkson. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge song, really big moment because I think the viewership on that show was insane. It was like 70 million a week or some crazy
it's
number.
ridiculous.
So we play live. And I don't think people realize that a lot of times, a lot of bands on TV don't play live. We've always played live.
You're right. Most people might not realize
they don't realize that most bands are miming or faking.
Yeah, it's a track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get up there and we sound check. And then I remember it's very funny to me because like we'd sound check and this is a big moment. And we go to the green room, our dressing room for like 5 hours. It feels like Rich Redmond, our fantastic drummer, falls asleep, takes a nap, we go out and all of a sudden it's like you're rushed. So you go out 10 minutes to Aldine. So we run out there and we're checking our amps and they're in commercial break. So they're in commercial break, got a minute 30. It's counting down and Jack's amp, our second guitar player, it isn't working. There's nothing coming out of his amp. And our tour manager at the time, Tim McCormick, God rest his soul, goes, Jack, don't worry about it. There's a tape delay. It's not live, it's a tape delay. We're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's live to tape, which for people in the, not the industry, it means you're recording in basic live form, but it's going out later that night. Mm-hmm. So he goes, don't worry, it's live to tape. And they're going, minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're like, okay, cool, whatever. And Jack's like, oh, fine. And all of a sudden, and we heard that sound of Jack's amp, and then they count down 5, 4, and we start playing. And we're like, oh, that's cool. Thank God, it's good. Jack's amp came on. We didn't have to stop, And so we play the performance. It was great. We get off stage, and our phones are blowing up. You guys killed it. You did great. And we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it was live.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of sitting around going, it's okay. If they count down, we'll be fine. We'll just, they'll have to stop. And
we're like, well, if it doesn't work, we'll just say, no, stop.
I know.
So our tour manager's like, don't worry. It's live to tape.
That's funny.
It was, and we always talk about this day, like, oh my God, like, could you imagine if it cut to us and we're like messing with Jack's amp or trying to get it to work?
And it would have been.
You think we're live right now and Jim's been. All right.
There's Jim.
I'm just making sure.
Speaking of playing to tracks, like I don't think people realize that either on award shows or whatever. I mean, we've 99.9% always played live. Jason wants it to sound live. It's just, that's our thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But most people don't.
Most people don't.
And it's, I don't know. I think it's interesting because
It's a security blanket for most.
Yeah. And really, honestly,
I get that. I get it. I get that.
Well, what they don't realize though is when you don't play live, you're generally playing to like a track that's been pretty well manipulated to be close to perfect. And so when your artist is singing to it, they're singing live and the band's faking to an almost perfect track. And so there's no live feel for the artist.
I wonder if there's any country artists that have had a Milli Vanilli moment. where he got stuck. Has that ever happened to a country act that y'all know of?
No.
I don't know.
No.
It's a good question. But it's funny when the Milli Vanilli thing came out, that was like unheard of. Oh, there was a track. And it was like, it's pretty common practice, actually.
It really is.
Yeah, and when you guys play live, like a televised thing, it's got to be different than when you're on the road and you've got all your stuff and it's all
It's
your guys,
1,000%
right?
different.
So could you argue that if you're an act and you're on TV and it's not all your stuff and not all your sound, you just wouldn't trust it. You wouldn't be able to hear as good.
But,
So you kind
I
of
know
wanted
what
to make
Tully's
sure
going to
that
say,
you're not.
but listen, the producers of the show push most acts to do it to a track because it's a failsafe. It's always going well.
And time.
Yeah.
It's exactly
so
on
you're not
time.
going to have our American Idol moments where, oh my God, it doesn't work. So they kind of push them, but Jason and the management, to their credit, have always said, no, we're playing live. That's our thing.
Well, it makes it makes Jason more comfortable, and it's also live music and all its beautiful imperfections, along with a live vocal. So the first thing we do at award shows is go find the list of people playing live. It is, and we always know we know who it's going to be. It's us. It's Miranda Lambert.
Her band always plays live.
Stapleton, plays live.
Yeah.
And you know who's not going to play live. You know it before you're getting there. So that's always kind of a sweet moment.
Yeah.
And I love it because you see the guys not playing live and they're dressed. You can always tell who's not playing live. Easy to tell
I can pick that off
because they're
from
dressed
home.
in long leather coats and scarves and things that you could never play live in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always fun. And then we have a good time later kind of trolling the Instagram posts when the other players are like, playing the awards tonight. And we're like, no, you're not. Nah. You know who you are. You know who you are. I don't have any problem saying that either.
I mean,
It's not.
what it is.
But,
Does it annoy you?
To their credit, though, it's not the player's call.
No, that's what I'm saying. They get pushed by the
right.
producers, really, because they want a show that's tightly run.
But it is the player's call when they post playing the awards tonight. Not so fast.
Playing the awards.
But you can always tell. They got a scarf and a long coat and some sort of crazy hat over their eyes.
And gloves on.
Yeah, gloves.
Playing them guitars with gloves on.
Hey, funny story about gloves, though. It's reminiscing night here. 2004, we're out in Vegas.
See, you're good at that game. Who at our age is good at that game? I don't know how you do it.
Because my life is chapters, and I remember certain chapters.
It's a lot of chapters.
He's got it tattooed on his forearm. He's got his whole.
Yeah, I got a playbook right here. No, we're in Vegas and we're with Aldine. The first album has not come out yet. It's cut, but it's not out. No one knows who we are. We're at the Nationals Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
December. It's freezing cold, 20 degrees, 25 degrees. And
everybody thinks Vegas is warm year round.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now we were out there and we're playing on the steps of the arena outside. And literally, me, Kurt, Jason, and Rich, two little speakers, like you're in a bar, and people are just kind of walking around us. And we're playing Amarillo Sky. We're playing Y. We're playing Johnny Cash. We're playing Hicktown. And no one even knows what they're listening to. And they're literally walking around us. And it is so cold. Kurt has gloves on. And he's killing it. I'm like,
Well, I don't know if I was killing it.
how is he playing the guitar with gloves on?
I was like, nobody's listening anyway. Nobody's
doing that?
listening.
It was so cold. And then it must be a thing with Vegas for us because we have a long history with Vegas, but we go out years later to do the Johnny Cash video for the second record, and it snowed. And we did the video out there, and it was the coldest video.
Oh, it was so cold. And they got a place in Vegas. They call it the Graveyard, where we did the video. And it's where all of the old neon signs that have been taken down, they put them all in this one spot. So all from the old Vegas buildings and casinos, that's where they all are. It's really cool, actually.
That's cool, yeah.
See, you remember that? I didn't remember that. You're firing, buddy. You got it.
I ain't firing.
You got some spark plugs still in there. Cobb.
Oh, Cobb, I can't wait.
Well, so you're talking about Vegas, and last time we talked a little bit about flying private and stuff like that, but it may surprise a lot of you guys to know that
Don't let them know
we
that.
sometimes
We don't live in a bubble.
fly commercial. How are you guys feeling about flying commercial? There's been a lot of stuff happening and people are kind
There
of.
was another thing today. I know
thing
this will
today.
air
What was
in
it?
a couple
What
of weeks.
happened?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
it was a Southwest plane.
What happened?
Today? Which I'm not sure when this will air, but but it was today, and everything ended up being okay. But it was to the credit of the crew of Southwest that had saw, I think, a private plane coming from the side, and they were landing, and so they pulled up, and
Yes,
did
they
another
literally
round.
touched down on the runway, descending, got to the runway, saw a plane that was crossing that was going to take off.
So what plane was landing? The
Southwest
big,
plane.
the big plane.
Yes.
Okay.
And literally saw the plane in front of them going this way, and he wheeled back up.
What is going on?
I don't know, it's just
DEI.
I don't know. I don't know, but it's a lot. And then one of the
Seems
Delta
like a
planes
lot
filled
in a
up with
short amount of
smoke, and then they deplaned, and that was today or yesterday. That just filled up with smoke, and they all went out on the runway, and you can see people. It's weird. They're just kind of
There's a bunch of
laughing on their way out,
unqualified
like,
people at the controls.
But
That's what I'm.
And some of it could be
I'm
kind of-
going to go with that.
It might be
some of it can be
right.
kind of random too. Like out in the country, like if somebody dies, then somebody else dies. You can hear the old country people saying, "I hope I'm not in this group," because things happen just kind of in circles a little bit. So sometimes it's just these things are happening, and then it'll probably go away for a while. But I don't know.
I'm driving.
Just kind of interesting.
But your question was, how do we feel about flying?
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
we have to do it.
You have
so
to
it's
do
not
it.
like we're
And
going to.
for the most
do
part,
it,
we don't, though.
Yeah.
We don't.
We
Yeah.
don't. I mean, we want to be on that bus, and I'm not saying that traveling on the roads is safer. I don't even know what the statistics would be, but we would much rather be on the bus. Like Tully will say this, it doesn't matter if we're coming from New York City back to Nashville and you can get there in a 2-hour flight. No, give us a 20-hour bus ride.
Anytime.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate enough to fly private a lot and bypass commercial, and still like give me the long bus ride.
Yeah.
Give me it. We're creatures. We've been on the road for so long that, and we travel pretty comfortable. I mean, it's the band on a bus with a security guy, and so it's
Neil,
great.
do you like the bus?
Oh, I do. I drive most everywhere now.
Yeah, for Neil and I, just to cut down on overhead, we like to take like a Suburban, Tahoe. Neil likes to drive, so I think Neil has more miles on my Tahoe than I have.
Yep, I
because
like to drive.
Because we'll go.
I'm a control
on
freak.
corporate shows, and I like to ride. So
Yep.
Yeah, who drives?
Neil does. He doesn't like it when I drive. It makes him nervous.
It's like a Thelma and Louise thing you guys have.
A little bit, and I don't mind.
Kind of,
I
sort
don't
of.
mind. I'm a born follower, so I don't care.
Well, he sits back and goes through his emails, and
Yeah, I can do a lot of
give him
stuff.
I was
time
about to say, what's the
He gets to work.
conversation like on the road trips with?
Well, it's like any old couple. We don't talk much. We can enjoy each other and not say a thing.
kind of like me and Lana.
Yeah, it's like you in Atlanta 30 years. I mean, they hadn't said a word in 10 years. I don't think.
I tell you this though, Lana, first of all, she's a saint. We always talk about this. I feel like if you took Lana with you, you'd have like amazing food would just show up, drinks,
It does.
desserts.
It does.
Somehow everything
It
would be
does.
perfect. It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It'll be, yeah. I mean, we're going down 65. I mean, there'll be like a dude in a tuxedo walking down the shoulder with a
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. She's going to make sure you're okay.
silver platter of coffee.
I worry about you when Lana's not here. I do.
We just got back from the beach.
Yeah,
went-
together. I'm worried
where'd you
about when
go?
you're
We
alone.
went down to the Gulf of America,
Yeah, you did.
and
the Gulf of Neil.
actually, we brought y'all back a little keepsake.
You did?
Oh yeah, sure did. Let me reach
oh, you
down.
gotta-
Let me reach down
Wow,
here.
is that like we're gonna do it live?
Live,
exciting.
Jim. This is live. Holy. Wow.
Are you being serious?
Oh, I'm being
exciting.
dead serious.
This is what Lana does, though.
Wait, we have to open at the same
this is
time.
what I
It's-
just talked about.
This was not my idea. It was my wife's idea.
Well, of course we know it was
And,
live.
hope it's a
but-
candle.
But this is the first time that we've been back down to the Gulf of America since the name was changed. I pulled over at the boardwalk where we were staying. Lana went out there and collected a bunch of Gulf of America stuff for you guys.
Are you being serious?
Yeah,
Oh, my
dead
God.
serious.
All right.
That's Gulf of America.
Yes,
I don't know where the cameras are.
Look at
but-
that.
that's great.
That is American.
Yeah.
Gulf of America.
Thank
You guys
you.
are amazing.
You guys are amazing. I don't even.
Well, thanks, guys.
Well, when I say that, I mean Lana's amazing.
She really is.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
Everybody
Lana.
knows why I'm here.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's from
There it
the Gulf of
Look at
America coast right there.
Look at that. Right next to Will Levis. One of these things will go home with me and one won't.
This is actually a great time. Let's make sure we get a word in from our sponsors. This is a Try That in a Small Town podcast. We'll be right back.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded.
Of course.
I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
You know what goes great with small town stories?
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
You know, I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit. You like what?
Oh, you CC.
CC.
Corn cob.
I hope you got that because
CC
that's good.
Allison.
We're back. This is a Try That in a Small Town podcast. Apparently, I'm CC.
CC.
Oh, corn cob.
I don't know.
Corn cob. I mean, that is how nicknames get formed.
Do you want to tell me
But I do
your
like
other
cob.
nickname?
Cob is
Yeah.
really just
CC
plain
sounds
old
a
cob.
I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
what?
See, the thing with nicknames, like nobody wants to be called Cobb, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Cobb sounds really good compared to your other nickname.
Yeah. I have
wanna be
another
called-
nickname,
but not,
which
not
is-
CC.
Yeah.
That sounds like a.
Who sounds more badass, Thrash or Cobb?
Yeah, it's pretty good,
I
actually.
mean,
I like Cobb.
I'm
Cobb's pretty
actually
good, though.
okay with Cobb. We're going to need Ed to weigh in, though, because I do trust Ed.
but cornhole.
no, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Pass.
Taylor, what do you think about
Pass.
cornhole?
No.
No.
Too close to home?
Speaking of cornhole, I've got a story.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell a story?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
No,
say
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I mean,
No, I thought we were leading in. You had it.
Well, I don't know. It's a perfect segue.
No, that's not. That's not
speaking
the
of
segue.
cornhole,
No, that's
let's talk. You were telling us
Speaking
about
of Cobb.
No, you were telling us a story about a.
Okay,
you were in
let's
a,
just get to the story.
You were in a vitamin store, and what happened?
Well, it was a long time ago, and I
How
didn't know
long
we're-
ago?
I didn't know. It was probably
3 or 4 days.
2 months?
yeah, it's 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was a few years ago, and I was at a health store, and I was asking the lady who worked there, and I was there all the time, So I asked the lady. I said, "Hey," I said, "So I want to get something for like a pre-workout, just to have more energy and stuff like that." And I said, "So what do you think? Would you recommend anything?" And she said she didn't really know, and she goes, one of our customers, Rob, said he's all about that. Said he'll be able to tell you. And I said, "Oh, great." So it was real close to closing time. They closed at 9. It was like 8:45 or whatever. And so he comes over and real nice guy. And he said, "Yeah, what kind of question you got to say?" I was looking for just a little bit more energy, a little pre-workout thing, as opposed to the post. And I heard that's really good. Get you ready, burn more calories, and build more muscle and stuff like that. And he goes, yeah. He goes, what kind of workout you doing? And I said, well, right now I'm doing like a Body for Life thing, but I go, back and forth between that and P90X, and he kind of steps back a little bit, and I'm, he just kind of looks at me. I wish our listeners were actually watching, because it's kind of a physical story, but he says,
I can tell.
but he says that he kind of looks back and kind of head to toe, and he goes, "Man, I can just tell you, whatever you're doing is working," And, but just kind of like that.
Yeah,
I said,
that's a compliment.
I know. And I said, "Hey, thanks." I lit up like a Christmas tree, And he goes, yeah. He said, "Man," he goes, "I tell you what, your arms look pretty big." And I had a shirt just like this on and a t-shirt just like this, right? And he goes, I said, "Well, they're not really that big." And he goes, "No." And he reaches over and he, just kind of grabs my
Touch the bicep?
arm, just kind of unflexed.
Did you flex, though?
No.
Oh, yes, you did. It's a natural reaction.
No,
He doesn't have to. He's tight.
No,
He's tight. He doesn't have to.
I fought.
He's tight.
No, I fought against it. I was going to.
You wanted to.
Yeah, of course
It's
I did.
a natural reaction.
Of course
really
it
is.
is.
Hey, did it move?
No.
You talking about
when you say
bicep?
no.
Yes. No, but he said, he goes, man, he goes, let me take a look at that. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I mean, you got a T-shirt on underneath there, and I'm thinking,
Are you serious?
like right here
What store is
between
this?
the protein and the amino
Is it
acids?
GNC?
No, I don't know if I should say what store it was. It wasn't a
it doesn't
GNC.
matter what
It wasn't a
store it is.
GNC.
Vitamin
It was a
supply-
vitamin
The
store.
vitamin
shop?
store-ish.
Vitamin
Vitamin
store.
shop, sorry, yeah.
So,
Can
so
you,
anyway,
wait, real quick.
let me-
What does he look like?
normal, just a guy. You know?
Normal? What does
yeah,
that mean?
he was in shape. He
In shape?
looked like any one of you guys.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, I mean, I have really
Jacked.
big biceps, so
you know. And,
for those of you only listening,
Yeah.
I have huge biceps.
Okay,
yeah.
so
So anyway, so I said, so like right here, he goes, yeah, it's just us. And I'm thinking, he's right. It's just us. And so I kind of slowly worked it off the shoulder. Got it off there, and then just kind of, then flex it, and he, and kind of like your dad, when you make a muscle and you're a little kid, and he goes.
did he make that
Your
noise?
dad does that. No, but that's kind of what he did.
Okay.
He's kind of he goes, wow. He goes, man, I'm telling you, he goes, I can recommend something for you. He goes, but I just keep doing what you're doing. He goes, I tell you what, me and my buddy, it's if you want to change things up a little bit. He said, me and my buddy been doing something and it's really cut into like our cardio. We're cutting calories like crazy. And he said, it's really great. I said, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, we're wrestling. And I said,
No, he didn't.
Dude, I mean, you honestly can't make this up.
Okay,
And he
so
goes,
go.
I said, oh, wrestling. Yeah. I said, I did that like when I was in junior high. Wasn't that great? But he goes, no, he goes, my full basement is full on wrestling pads. Like there's no furniture. It's just wrestling pads.
With mud?
Maybe
With oil?
maybe oils. I don't know. But anyway, he goes, yeah, we get down there for hours and we just wrestle. And I said, wow.
Did you go?
And then that's when.
At what point? I was going to say,
Then.
at what point do you go? Oh,
No, that's when I started thinking, yeah, he wants to hold me.
Yeah, he wants to take you down.
I realized this, and so I said, you know what? I'm probably good. I mean, I live a good piece away, from here. He goes, whereabouts? I
You
said,
said good piece.
way over the hill, And anyway, so I got to the register and everything, and I was just trying to distance myself from him. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the lady like, hey, why'd you turn me over to the,
Yeah.
this guy? You've had to know, you've known him for years.
Over to the what?
The guy who's trying to pick me up.
started to say
it
something.
can't be
I
the
don't-
first time. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
this-
It's like your own little Pulp Fiction moment.
but it doesn't stop there. I'm trying to. So it's just us two, and then he's behind me at the register.
Behind
and
you.
the door too. The door to get out is behind also. And he goes, and as I'm kind of squirreling around, he goes, hey man, he goes, is that your Tahoe out there? And I said, yeah. And I had an old 02 Tahoe, gold one. And he goes, man, I tell you what, he goes, you want to arm wrestle or something? We can arm
No.
wrestle. And I said,
No.
And I said, I don't know why would we arm wrestle? I don't know why we'd. He goes, yeah, we could do it. Like you had a console, we could arm wrestle over your console. And then I started panicking. I'm like, no, my basset hound's out there and he'll freak out. He'll freak out. He's in the front seat and everything. I got to go anyway. And so I went out and started and left. So
I'm sorry,
that was-
but that's like the ending of that I was not expecting.
yeah, it's like okay, when I'm walking out, is he running behind me? I don't know.
So,
And I didn't want to hurt his feelings. You know how that goes.
You think you could have taken him?
I'm
I'm talking about arm wrestling.
maybe.
so I'm going to blame this on you.
I don't know. I think he just wanted.
Because you must have put out a vibe or
I
something.
didn't.
No, you took your shirt off.
I didn't. No, I didn't take my shirt off. Just
Well,
one
you said
side.
you kinda
showed
did it over the-
No,
you showed
just
it some
over the
skin.
shoulder, and I had a very tasteful T-shirt on, just like the one I'm wearing
But
tonight.
then you flex for him.
Yeah, I know.
That's the
What's
first sign.
interesting-
Did, but it wasn't a full. It was kind of like there it is. It was just.
But what's
I don't
interesting
feel
is
great
you
about
kind
it.
of distanced yourself, and then he came back. And then he came back.
He came back. Yes, I wasn't, pursuing that. And I think at that point he's thinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to wrestle him, but I would like to touch his hand so we could at least arm wrestle.
Well,
And anyway, so that was an encounter.
I mean,
that,
I would take it as a compliment.
Yeah, I did feel pretty
Totally.
decent about it. It lifted me up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it freaked me out a little bit too.
No, I mean, Kalo, it's a good thing.
Yeah. And then I started feeling bad. I started thinking, he probably has no one. It's around the holidays. Probably has nobody. And
You're such a giving people person.
yeah, I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
surprised you actually didn't arm
I don't
wrestle
think I
just
gave you
because
my
you're
number.
such a pleaser.
I probably didn't. I don't think I gave my number. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Yeah. Anyway,
That's pretty good.
so
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Of course
like
not.
Seinfeld.
What?
That's a Seinfeld.
But, you
I'm,
know,
I'm
it
always
does-
going to shut that down. I'm always going
it's
to
a
shut it.
Seinfeld thing.
I'll shut it down.
Seinfeld's a show was on NBC years ago.
I know.
Jerry Seinfeld, the comedian, was in it.
It does remind me of a time when we were in Salt Lake City, though. I don't know if we should
God.
tell that story or not.
Tell it. Why not?
Oh, you and those two
we're letting
guys?
all the
I mean, and it isn't anything
No, it's not.
other than this was a long time
very,
ago.
very long time ago.
And we used to, you know, it's like
okay.
we were in our phase of like, hey, let's play our show and then go have some fun. Let's go to a bar and we'll have a drink.
Yeah.
So we had heard, no, actually, I think it was Rich.
Redmond.
Said he saw a bar across the street from where we were playing. He's like, from what I understand, somebody told me today, this is where you need to go for after the show. It's where everybody hangs out. So we do our show. We go over there. There's a line to get in. We're like, oh, yeah, it's kind of hopping. So we're going in and we're going upstairs and we're like, God, a lot of dudes here. I don't know. It's going
Sausage Fest.
a lot of guys here tonight.
Why is there only guys here?
And then there was a lot of guys there.
Yep.
A lot of
And
guys.
then we realized there were only guys there.
They saw y'all walk in.
And they saw us all walking with coiffed hair and
yeah.
our show clothes on. And
Yep.
Might have been leather pants back
yeah,
then.
we got our first drink for
Those
free.
show
and then we
clothes, that's a
left.
dead ringer.
Yeah, I know,
Says
the
those
show
guys
clo-
are just like us.
Yeah. Who's show clothes?
And again, not that there's anything wrong with that. We did take the first free drink and then we left.
Then we left. Most of us left. I don't know what Redmond did, but no, I'm kidding. Rich will kill me if he
Anyway.
hears that. Strike that from the record, Jim.
No.
We didn't see him for about a month, but
Rich came home late. I mean, I don't know when he came home. But no. I mean, that's good, Kalo.
what do
Proud
you
of you.
mean? What do you mean? That,
Well,
that
you
was your
wrote it out.
story.
You wrote it out.
No,
You-
wait,
you-
No, I didn't write it out. Let's be clear.
It was touch and go.
No, it wasn't.
You wrote-
Oh my God.
Nope, wasn't touch and go. Anyway,
I don't even know where you go to that from.
well, let's talk about Keystone Pipeline.
Wow, just right to another
Yeah,
story.
just
cold turkey,
just
right
go
into
to
one.
it. Yeah,
one pipeline to another.
good.
One pipeline to another.
Yeah.
Speaking of pipelines,
I think, that Neil was talking about it, right? Trump's getting that going again, trying to get it approved and everything,
Right.
which will help the economy and
Right.
energy and things like that, right? It's a positive thing.
Do you have something to say about the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, I didn't know if Neil
he
wanted
was
to
at,
start it or.
you're talking about when you were out here, we were playing golf. Oh, no, you were playing
Yeah.
golf.
Well, yeah. What
You had some guests out here.
You had some guests. It was a benefit, and I don't think were we on the same scramble team, or were
I don't
you ahead?
think
You were
so.
ahead of me, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're with these guys,
But they're
and-
replacing the gas line, the huge line that runs through this whole property. It's huge. It's gigantic.
Yeah, and I didn't really know. I just knew that it was a big line. That's all I knew. Huge, right? And so these guys, we were on the second hole for us, which actually was hole.
10.
Yeah, it was actually our first hole. So we're on the green, and we're going between 10 and 11. And there's a huge pipe. It wasn't a gas line. It was huge. And so it's the guy said, "Man, what's that right there?" And I said, "Well, that's Keystone Pipeline." and they said, "For real? I thought they closed that down." And everything. I said, "That's what I thought too." And I said, "But it's running right through here." So the developer here said,
You went with it.
Did you go with it like
Oh, yeah, you went with it.
He said, "Screw it." He
They're
goes,
taking
"It
pictures
can-
sitting on it.
Yeah. And I said, "There she is, boys." And they were up there, and I was taking pictures. They were taking pictures, and I was sending it to them later.
Wait a
and everything.
minute, you being serious?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, dead
and then,
serious.
and
Are
then
these
later,
grown men?
And then
Yes.
and then later I told Neil, I said, "Well, I showed those guys." I said they had time of their lives. I showed them the Keystone Pipeline and everything. He goes, "Keystone Pipeline." And Neil said, "You didn't say that, did you?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "That's the Colonial Pipeline." I said, "Really?"
Yeah.
And so later that night, I'm like, "Hey guys, I might have had a small discretion there."
Pictures
Hold
by
on, because
it.
they've already sent it to their family and all their friends, and it looks like I made a tiny mistake.
Hold on. So did you actually think it was a Keystone Pipeline?
I may
There
have.
she is, boys.
I
There she
thought
is.
that you were
Wait a minute.
BSing them.
No.
I didn't know.
With full.
You thought the Keystone Pipeline
ran
down-
right through the neighborhood here.
Possibly.
Yep.
Kalo.
Could have been.
Kalo.
Somebody
You're a
must have told me.
smart individual.
It's a really,
long
I rhyme
pipeline.
things.
It's a long pipeline.
You're kidding. You didn't really
No, I
think
did.
that.
That's what
You
I
thought
told
the
him.
Keystone Pipeline was running through down here?
Somebody told me that, or I heard it, or I misheard it.
I
and
thought
took
it was
as
a
fact.
funnier story. You telling them because you knew it wasn't.
No, I really
right.
thought it was.
Well, I
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry,
like
guys.
the segue from the
like
vitamin
this.
store
I like the
to
way I
Yeah.
thought about it better.
Me
like you were messing with them.
Maybe I was.
I don't know what to believe.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. The
Anyway.
Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah. Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm not an old guy.
Hey, guys, I do need to ask you this because I think it's serious.
Okay. Cobb's getting serious.
Uh-oh.
Everybody step back.
That might stick. I don't know.
It's stuck, dude.
It may or not.
I shook out
May
some
or may
info
not.
there, Cobb.
I'm going to send you an email later tonight. You do need to report to me 5 things you've done in the last week.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
All right.
Got
Okay.
it.
Why are people getting mad about that anyway?
Here's
Anybody that doesn't know, Elon,
here's what I'm going to say.
for all the federal employees, like just say 5 things you've done in the last week.
I had a conversation this morning with my neighbor, which is rare because I have good neighbors, but I don't like to get too close to the neighbors.
I know.
But
Well,
anyway,
I mean, that's okay.
But they're good people. Anyway, the neighbors directly across the street are really good people. They're,
Do they listen?
oh yeah, they do. And I gave them some cash swag and, they love the podcast. And we were talking about some of this stuff. And I said, here's what gets me. The great thing about this country is that every 4 years you get to go out and vote for who you want to be president. And I
Let your voice be heard.
What we need to do is for everybody to go out and vote and vote who you want to vote for. That's great. But when the results are in and you got a president for 4 years, that's what it's going to be.
And by the way, root for your president, no matter who
It's great. But just when whoever it is gets elected, it's time to somewhat come together. It's we can't last 4 years. Look, when Biden was in, by no means was I a Biden fan. By no means. However, I still respect the presidency.
And you want the country to do well no matter what.
Everybody, yeah. If we want it to do well, we don't want it to fail, or things to be bad. I just feel like we all need to get back to that where go out and vote, but if it doesn't go your way,
Hey,
you got to move on.
can I tell you something? You were talking about Cash swag, and we're talking about our friend Cash Patel, who's now the new FBI director, which we're proud of him and we're thankful he's there. So I didn't even realize just yesterday I had the sweatshirt on. It says Fight with Cash. I didn't even realize I had it on. I don't even think about it. This is going to sound whatever, but I've been thinking about an addition to the house, just doing a little whatever man cave.
Where are you going to do it?
Of where
Off your other
is.
man cave?
Yeah, off the other man cave. Second man cave. This is for you.
The grown man cave.
It's for, just in case you need a place to sleep.
Is it like a crying room?
Yeah.
For her husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so the contractor comes over and I go to meet him and he looks at me and he looks at my sweatshirt. He looks at the side and says, "Don't tread on me." It's that thing. And he just gives me one of those.
Well,
And immediately,
for those of you listening,
the man cave
Are you serious?
is not. Oh, I'm serious.
The man
See,
caved in.
that's what I mean.
He didn't like it. He didn't like your shirt.
Bro,
Obviously.
when I say he didn't like it, it was the end of the discussion.
And that dude swings a hammer?
Yeah. I know. I was actually
Who ever heard of
surprised.
that?
I was actually surprised, but he gave me an up and down. And I was like, oh, I actually looked and I was like, oh, really? And it was the end of it.
Well,
Wow.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
amazing.
This is so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Everybody's got a right as an American to vote who they want to vote for, think how they want to think.
Absolutely.
The days of people feeling like it's okay to do that to you.
and he's turning
are
down money,
over.
a job. It's like,
I know.
I don't even get that.
I would never hire a liberal to do an addition on my house, ever.
Well, apparently they wouldn't hire a
I would
conservative.
never hire a liberal. who supposedly swings a hammer, I would never do it.
Now, why? Like, a couple reasons, or one reason why. Like, why wouldn't you hire a liberal? Like, let's say they're the
This
best.
dude right here's got to be
That's
this.
a good bit.
No, this.
Why wouldn't you hire a liberal?
Yeah. No, but let's
This
say they're
dude
the
right
best. They're
here-
the best.
This dude, yeah, this
Let's
dude
say.
right here. I mean, I'm like, he's got to be the only freaking lib contractor in America.
I was
He
a little
has to
taken
be.
back. I really was.
I'm surprised too because it's such a blue collar.
Yeah.
You know, I just find it ridiculous that look. It's like when someone wears a hat, the red hat. Mm-hmm. This is America. This is
really
America.
bizarre.
I'm sorry. You know,
Really bizarre.
like if you didn't vote for Trump, I'm sorry that your side didn't win, but it's time to like, okay, well,
I'm not sorry.
We'll get him
Not
next
sorry.
time.
Yeah.
But if you're them, like, we'll get them next time. Like, all I'm really seeing is a whole bunch of crying far left libs. And it's like, my advice to them is I wouldn't focus so much on Trump and Elon and Cash and everyone you don't like, Kristi Noem and everyone that's rubbing you wrong. I would concentrate on who do you have coming up in 4 years.
Yeah.
Because they don't have an answer for it still.
Mm-hmm.
They're still focused on what they can't change.
That's
what
a fact.
what they don't
Yeah.
like. So focus on how to figure out how you lost if you want to win. I don't know. I'm confused by them.
Yeah.
Well, you
Anyway.
do have to think it's the left would say, to your point of saying, hey, your person didn't win, so just kind of pray for them and get them in 4 years. They would say it's easy for us to say that because our team won, right? But none of us were hoping that Biden did bad or Obama did bad. I wasn't thinking about that. Like my guy didn't win, but I was praying for that president. I want America to do
100%
well.
I'm for our
I want my
country.
family to be
There's,
safe.
but there's
us to
your
be
difference
safe.
right there.
But
Yeah.
there's the difference.
But
right
their
there.
teams won more than our team in the last 20 years. So they had a little dynasty going, little Pat's dynasty going,
Had a little Alabama going for a while.
a little Saban.
Looks like that's over.
See how they
Putting out a
compared your
documentary to pump
football
up
team
Alabama.
to the
They're,
libs.
they're putting out the Alabama thing on Netflix to build it back up because the season.
Hey,
wasn't
what
so
is
good.
it?
That's right.
What
It's
is
really
it?
good.
No, it's
I
true.
mean, it's supposed to be really good, but it's a
Have you
a
seen
Netflix
it?
thing
No, I
about
haven't
Alabama.
seen it yet. It's on Fox Nation.
Do you guys agree though?
Oh, totally agree.
Yeah.
Seriously, that it's getting old. It's like mainstream media and everybody is like, look, you're just dividing it more.
1,000%.
And
I don't know I don't know if it's ever, I hope it gets better. I don't know if it's going to get better.
I was hoping it would, but maybe after things, maybe the dust settles in 6 months or whatever. But
It just shows you what hate does to somebody's mind. That's all it shows.
no.
If you fester hate, let it fester and fester and fester.
Fester's a great word. But
Yeah.
I love that word.
You want
fester.
to be called Fester?
No, Cobb's good.
Uncle Fester.
Now, Fester's not bad.
I'll be glad.
Ed, don't you even
You'd
think
have to shave your
Fester's
head.
going to work?
But Fester or Festus?
I'd rather Festus than Fester.
Okay.
But
for
if you
some
let,
reason.
but if you let
Okay.
hate fester and you don't try to,
I agree.
you-
It snowballs. And
oh yeah, it does, and it just builds up, and you become this freaking shell of a person.
That's classic thrash talk, like in a good way. Because I don't
it's
think,
true.
I think people. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though, like none of us, the two sides don't agree. When Biden was in, look, we didn't love it. It wasn't great. There were some terrible decisions, but look, everybody needs to pull for everybody. At the end of the day,
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
We're all
and if you won't take
Americans.
the time to learn what's going on, there's so much hate in their hearts and everything else. They won't take the time to, you know what? Let's look at what he's doing or what he's trying to do to the country. They won't even take the time to do it. They're done. It's over.
I will admit to this. So I look at Fox News. I also look at CNN and I say, okay, well, here's the two sides. Generally it lies in the middle, like both sides. But I look at both sides of the news. I look at both sides and make sure I'm not missing something. They would never do that.
No.
And
Right.
if every time I've tried to have a rational conversation with a far left person, you cannot reason with them. You can't get them to even listen to you. I don't know what to tell them.
Well, it's because the reason is because they look at you or me or Neil or Kurt, whoever's talking, as a dumbass redneck, and they don't. It sometimes just the way we talk. It's not what we say; it's how we say it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just listen to your dialect and where you're from.
That's
and everything.
right.
Says,
You should have talked to that guy in that vitamin store.
Yeah, he really knows something.
Hey, when you were in that vitamin store, you should have talked like that right there.
No, that would have been worse.
Yeah,
was
he
it
might
the
have been
vitamin
turned
shop?
on by it.
No, that'd have been Deliverance style.
Don't say
I'd been Ned Beatty.
MIC that redneck South Tennessee bicep.
Maybe what it was what you were buying. What were
do you
you
mean?
buying? Well, what were you looking at? What kind of
Were
vitamin?
you buying testosterone or?
No, just like a pre-workout drink.
Blue
That's
pill?
all. You know, just a little white wine or something. You know? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh! I don't even know if we
Oh yeah. Now the second half of this conversation has been fantastic.
It actually-
I want to thank y'all.
It's been interesting.
I really do.
Has been interesting.
We do need to make sure everybody knows, first of all, Patriot Mobile. Go check them out, Patriot Mobile /Smalltown. They'll offer you a free month. Put in the code Smalltown. Original Glory Beer. We haven't mentioned them yet, but we're so thankful for them. Blaze. Great beer, great mission. Make sure you check that out. Go to YouTube. Like, subscribe, download, all of it.
Hate us.
Yes.
Merch. Jim says merch.
Merch.
Do I? Wait. Right there. Kalo's got a hat.
Oh, it looks good.
It's pretty cool. You want that hat?
No, it looks good.
Different colors. There's camo also.
Go to try that in
You should have had that
smalltown.com.
camo hat on.
These are the Patriot Mobile, or this is the Patriot Mobile studio. This is try
Cobb.
that in a small town. I'm Cobb.
Cobb.
I think
I like
it's
it. I like it.
Unfortunately, I think that's what it is.
Yep, Cobb.
Captain Cobb.
We're going with Cobb.
Captain Cobb. Oh no. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. See you next time.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.